The halls of Congress whisper a powerful name, AIPAC. The American Israel Public Affairs Committee, known as AIPAC, is a force to be reckoned with in Washington. A lobby group with unparalleled influence, it dictates American foreign policy with alarming effectiveness, shaping decisions that affect millions. AIPAC wields its power with unwavering determination, ensuring its agenda is always at the forefront. Its goal, to ensure unwavering U.S. support for Israel regardless of the cost. Critics are silenced and opposition is swiftly dealt with. Dissent is met with swift and brutal retribution, leaving no room for debate or disagreement. This is the story of how a foreign lobby captured the heart of American democracy, influencing its core values and decisions. AIPAC's grip extends to both sides of the aisle, ensuring bipartisan support for its initiatives. Democrats and Republicans alike fall in line, fearful of crossing the organization and facing its wrath. The consequences of defiance are swift and severe. Political careers are destroyed and reputations are tarnished beyond repair. The message is clear: challenge Israel and face the consequences. The stakes are high and the risks are immense. This influence comes at a steep price, one that is often paid by the American taxpayer. Billions of taxpayer dollars flow into Israel's coffers, often at the expense of American needs and priorities. Military interventions are launched with AIPAC's blessing, dragging the U.S. into endless conflicts and wars. Domestically, AIPAC fuels Islamophobia and stifles free speech, creating a climate of fear and repression. Its tentacles reach deep into the fabric of American society, distorting its values and undermining its democracy, leaving a lasting impact. Is this the America we want? A nation where foreign interests dictate our policies and values? A nation beholden to a foreign power, where our sovereignty is compromised? A country where dissent is silenced and critics are punished, creating an atmosphere of fear and control? The time has come to expose AIPAC's grip on power and reclaim our democracy, ensuring that our nation's future is determined by its people. The year is 2005, a scandal rocks Washington. Lawrence Franklin, a Pentagon analyst, is caught red-handed. He's been passing classified documents, but not to a foreign government. His recipients are two AIPAC officials, Steve Rosen and Keith Weissman. Franklin's crime? Providing information about Iran. Information destined for the Israeli government. He pleads guilty to espionage charges. Rosen and Weissman, they walk free. The charges against them mysteriously disappear. This is not an isolated incident. The 1980s saw Jonathan Pollard, a U.S. Navy intelligence analyst, convicted of spying for Israel. The damage? Incalculable. American agents lost their lives, national security was compromised. Pollard became a hero in Israel. The pattern is clear. AIPAC's loyalty lies with a foreign government. A government willing to steal American secrets. A government willing to betray the trust of its closest ally. How deep does this conspiracy go? The answer may be too terrifying to contemplate. AIPAC demands absolute obedience from politicians and influencers alike. Those who dare to criticize Israel's actions face the wrath of a well-oiled machine designed to crush dissent. Their weapon of choice? Dark money, funneled through various channels to obscure its origins. Millions of dollars flood into the coffers of political action committees with ties to AIPAC, ensuring their influence remains unchallenged. Their mission to silence dissent and maintain a narrative that supports their agenda. In 2022, AIPAC's United Democracy Project spent a staggering $24 million to influence elections. Their target? Progressive candidates critical of Israel. The results were devastating for those who dared to speak out. Representative Andy Levin, a Jewish congressman who dared to question Israeli policy, lost his primary in a shocking defeat. His opponent, a pro-Israel candidate heavily funded by AIPAC, ensuring a well-financed campaign. The 2024 election cycle saw a similar pattern, with dark money shaping the political landscape. Representative Cori Bush, a vocal critic of Israeli apartheid, became a target of this relentless machine. Millions were poured into her opponent's campaign, drowning out her voice and message. The result? Another victory for AIPAC and another blow to free speech. This is not democracy, it's a hostile takeover of our political system. AIPAC's message is clear. Toe the line or face the consequences, a stark warning to all. The chilling effect is undeniable as fear grips those in power. Politicians are afraid to speak out, debate is stifled, and the democratic process is undermined. The American people are denied a true choice. Their voices drowned out by the flood of dark money. AIPAC's influence extends beyond silencing critics of Israel. It also seeks to shape the American public's perception of the Middle East. Their tool? Islamophobia. By painting Muslims as a threat, AIPAC justifies its unwavering support for Israel's actions. Donald Trump, a man known for his bigotry and Islamophobic rhetoric, found a welcoming audience at AIPAC. In 2020, he addressed the organization, praising its work and pledging his unwavering support for Israel. The message was clear. Islamophobia was not a deal-breaker, it was an asset. Congresswomen Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib, the first Muslim women elected to Congress, became prime targets. AIPAC spent millions on smear campaigns, using Islamophobic tropes to discredit them. Their crime? Daring to criticize Israel's treatment of Palestinians. This campaign of fear has real-world consequences. It fuels hate crimes against Muslims. It creates a climate of suspicion and distrust. It undermines American values of tolerance and diversity. AIPAC's actions are a betrayal of the American ideal. Section 5, the Anti-Semitism Shield stifling criticism, protecting apartheid. AIPAC wields a powerful weapon: accusations of anti-Semitism. Any criticism of Israel, no matter how valid, is branded as anti-Semitic. This tactic effectively silences debate and protects Israel from accountability. Bernie Sanders, a Jewish senator who dared to criticize Israel's occupation of Palestine, was labeled a self-hating Jew. His sin? Suggesting that Palestinians deserve human rights. Human Rights Watch and Amnesty International, two respected human rights organizations, have documented Israel's system of apartheid. Their findings? Dismissed by AIPAC as anti-Semitic. The truth, it seems, is no defense against AIPAC's accusations. Even Jewish groups critical of Israeli policy are not immune. Organizations like If Not Now and Jewish Voice for Peace have been targeted, their members smeared as traitors to their faith. AIPAC's message is clear: there is no room for dissent within the Jewish community. AIPAC operates with impunity, wielding significant power and influence over American politics. While it claims to be a domestic lobby group, its true allegiance is clear: the State of Israel. This duality raises questions about its true intentions and the extent of its influence. Unlike other organizations that lobby on behalf of foreign governments, AIPAC faces no oversight. This lack of regulation allows it to operate in a gray area, free from scrutiny. The Foreign Agents Registration Act, or FARA, requires organizations representing the interests of foreign governments to register with the Justice Department. This law is designed to ensure that foreign influence is transparent and accountable. This registration ensures transparency and accountability, making it clear who is influencing American policy. AIPAC, however, operates outside these rules, exploiting a loophole that allows it to avoid such scrutiny. This loophole grants AIPAC an unfair advantage over other lobby groups, enabling it to exert disproportionate influence. It allows them to funnel millions of dollars into American elections without disclosing the source of the funds. This lack of transparency in campaign financing is a significant concern. It allows them to influence policy behind a veil of secrecy, making it difficult for the public to know who is truly pulling the strings. It allows them to operate as an arm of a foreign government while claiming to represent American interests. This dual role is problematic and raises issues of loyalty and transparency. This lack of transparency is a threat to American democracy. It undermines the principles of open and fair governance. It allows foreign influence to operate unchecked, posing a risk to national sovereignty and democratic processes. It undermines the integrity of our elections, casting doubt on the fairness and legitimacy of the electoral process. It erodes public trust in government, leading to increased cynicism and disengagement among citizens. The time has come to hold AIPAC accountable and subject it to the same rules as other foreign agents. Only then can we ensure a fair and transparent political system. AIPAC's influence has a devastating human cost. The organization has consistently pushed the United States towards military intervention in the Middle East. From the disastrous invasion of Iraq to the ongoing campaign of drone strikes, AIPAC's fingerprints are everywhere. In 2002, AIPAC lobbied aggressively for the Iraq War. They provided Congress with misleading intelligence claiming that Saddam Hussein possessed weapons of mass destruction. The war, based on lies, cost the lives of hundreds of thousands of Iraqi civilians and destabilized the entire region. AIPAC has also set its sights on Iran. They have relentlessly lobbied for sanctions and military action against the Islamic Republic. Their goal? Regime change. The consequences of another war in the Middle East would be catastrophic. Even attempts at peace are met with resistance. AIPAC has consistently pressured Congress to oppose ceasefires in Gaza, even as Israeli bombs rain down on civilians. Their goal is not peace, but the perpetuation of Israel's military dominance. AIPAC's influence has insidiously eroded American values. Free speech is under attack. Dissent is silenced. Islamophobia is on the rise. Our foreign policy is dictated by a foreign power. This is not the America our founding fathers envisioned. The very foundations of our democracy are crumbling under the weight of AIPAC's influence. Our elected officials are beholden to a foreign lobby. Our media is afraid to speak truth to power. Our citizens are bombarded with propaganda. We are losing our moral compass. The values of compassion, justice, and equality have been replaced with fear, hatred, and blind allegiance. We have become complicit in the suffering of Palestinians. We have turned our backs on our own principles. This is a time for soul-searching. We must ask ourselves, what kind of country do we want to be? Will we continue down this path of moral bankruptcy? Or will we stand up for our values and reclaim our democracy? The grip of AIPAC is strong but not unbreakable. The first step towards reclaiming our democracy is awareness. We must educate ourselves about AIPAC's tactics and expose their influence. We must demand accountability from our elected officials. Ask them, who are you representing, the American people or a foreign lobby? Challenge them to stand up for American values, not Israeli interests. We must support organizations fighting for justice and equality in the Middle East. Groups like Jewish Voice for Peace and If Not Now are challenging AIPAC's stranglehold on the Jewish community. Amplify their voices. The struggle for a just and equitable world will not be easy. AIPAC will not relinquish its power willingly, but the alternative, a future where American democracy is a hollow shell, is unthinkable. The time to act is now. Our democracy and our humanity depend on it.